Greetings, beautiful people, and welcome to our Crochet Connection. My name is April Diane, and today we are working out of the Big Book of Crochet Stitches created by Jean Leanhauser and Rita Wise, and we are working on the Tiny Crosses stitch, which you can find on page 70 of the text. And this stitch starts with the chain multiple of 3 plus 2. 3 plus 2. And so you know that we can do any multiple of 3. So I did 6 times 3 and it gave me 18. And then I plussed 2 and it gave me a total of 20 chains. Okay, so I start this pattern out with a total of 20 chains. And if you are new to crochet, just to give you a little introduction about creating a slip knot and then a chain, you want to first, this is your free end, and the working end is the part that's connected to the skein or the ball of yarn that you have. Okay, and mine is up top here. Okay, so here's my ball and it's connected here. You first start out with taking the free end of yarn and placing it over the front of your fingers, the palm side, and then letting it drape down and let it hang down a little bit past your middle finger. So your middle finger and your pointer finger are together, and then you drape the free end across in front of the two fingers and you pinch it to keep the yarn in place, and then you take the working end of yarn back behind the backhand side, the top side of your hand, the knuckle side, and you wrap it around and you bring it all the way back around to the palm side, and then you create an X in the front here. Okay, and then you flip your hands back over to the knuckle side, and now it looks like you have a front loop and a back loop. Okay, so I crossed that working end over, and so that working end is now behind the free end, which is in front, making an X, which will create the knot effect. Okay, gonna take the mouth of the hook facing down and tuck it underneath the first loop of yarn on the fingers, this loop that's closest to your nails, and then grab a hold of the second loop, which is closest to your knuckles, and pull the second loop underneath the first loop. Turn your fingers to face the palm side as you lift the hook up and you take your fingers out of the hole. Okay, and then you want to hold on to the free end and the working end with your thumb here or your fingers as you pull up on your hook and pull down on these two pieces. Okay, and that creates a knot in the center. You see the knot? Now the knot may be far away from your hook, and so you want to get the knot closer to your hook, and to do that you separate the free end of yarn and the working end of yarn that is underneath your knot. Okay, you separate them, and then your knot will go towards your hook. Okay, snugging it up there. All right, and then you want to do your chains. Now we're doing 20 chains, and so there are several ways you can do this. You can yarn over from here and pull down on your hook, pulling the yarn over through the bottom loop that's on the hook, like so. Okay, that's 1. Yarn over and pull down, that's 2. Yarn over and pull down, that's 3. Okay, make your chains kind of loose, but not too loose, but not too tight. So medium gauge, medium tension, so that you can go back into them later on. You also may want to take and place your yarn and your working end of yarn and your work in the same hand. Okay, and then just take your hook and wrap your hook around the yarn and pull down on the working end of yarn through the hole. Okay, so taking your hook, wrapping your hook around your yarn instead of your yarn around your hook, and then pulling that wrap around through the bottom loop that's on the hook. Okay, and that's just another way of crocheting. Many people I know crochet in this manner with their yarn in the same hand and pulling down. So you just have to find the way that works for you and use that method that works for you. Okay? And as I mentioned, we're making a total of 20 chains. Okay, so you can count your chains as you go, or you can wait till you get to the end and you can see that the chains look like a braid, and I often call them V's. And so the yarn that's on the hook does not count as a chain. So it would be 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 I've done so far. You want to snug up this slip knot a little tight so it doesn't look like it's an actual chain, this piece right here. So I've done 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, plus 2, 19, and 20. Okay, I like this pattern. It's the first 2 rows are really simple. The next step for row 1 in the instructions is to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in each remaining chain. Okay, so this is the loop that's on the hook. This is the first chain. This would be the second chain. And remember, you can go in either through the front or the back. All right, so I'm going to go through the front today, and I'm not going to put the back bump on. Like normally I'll go in and put the back bump and the back loop of the chain on, because you know the chain is made of 3 parts: the front loop, the back loop, the one that's furthest away, the front loop is the one that's closest to you, and then the back bump is back there. Okay, so normally I go into the back bump, and I'm not doing that today. I'm just going to go right in here. And normally I put both when I go in through the front, I put the back loop and the back bump onto the hook, but I'm not going to do that today either. I'm going to get a different effect just putting the back loop on. Okay, and it does make the hole a little bit larger sometimes, depending on your gauge. But I'm going with it today just to show you the difference in the look, okay? So we're inserting it into the insertion point. We're single crocheting in the second chain from the hook and in each remaining chain. So we're inserting it for a single crochet, yarning over, taking it out of the insertion point, yarning over and pulling through 2. Okay, insert, yarn over, pull out of the insertion point, yarning over, pulling through 2, all the way down. Okay, and then now you want to, we got all the way to the end. and we are going to chain 1 and turn. Okay, like so. All right, and so now after you've chained 1 and turn, you're going to single crochet in the very first single crochet, so right here. And then you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and you're going to skip the next 2, 1 and 2, and you're going to single crochet in the next single crochet. So we're at row 2, and I'll back it up a little bit for you. We're at row 2, and we chained 1 to start the stitch. That was the preparatory stitch. And now we have single crocheted in the first single crochet, so right here, the beginning single crochet, right? And then chain 2, 1 and 2, and you're going to skip the next 2 single crochets. You're skipping 1 and 2, and you're going to single crochet in the next single crochet right here. And you're going to repeat from the start. So that's actually where your repeat starts. Your repeat starts as a chain 2, 1 and 2, and then you're skipping the next 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. That's the second step in the repeat, and then you're going to single crochet in the next single crochet. So right here, yarn over and pull through. Okay, and again, chaining 2, 1 and 2, skip the next 2, 1 and 2, and single crochet in the next right here. And chain 2, 1 and 2, and skip the next 1 and 2, and single crochet in the next. And chain 2, 1 and 2, and skip the next 1 and 2, and single crochet in the next. And chain 2, 1 and 2, and skip the next 1 and 2, and go into the next. Yarn over, pull through. So it should take you all the way down to your very last single crochet. And yarn over and pull through. And then you finalize the row by chaining 3. So 1 and 2 and 3 and turn. Okay, and that is the end of row 2. Okay, so we're on to row 3, and row 3 is a little tricky, but we can do it. So we did our preparatory 3 chains, and the first step in row 3 says to double crochet. So we yarn over first for a double crochet, and to double crochet in the chain 2 space. So remember, in row 2 we created all those chain 2s spaces. See this hole, where this hole is? This is the chain 2 space. So how we do it in that stitch is to go in the space with the hook, yarning over and pulling it through. It is actually around that chain 2 from the previous row. Then we yarn over and we pull through 2, and we yarn over and we pull through 2. Okay, that's the very first step in row 3. Then we chain 1. So we yarn over and we pull through. Okay, then we double crochet in the next chain 2 space. So here's the next chain 2 space. Once again, we're inserting it into the hole, yarning over, pulling it out of the hole, yarning over, pulling through 2, and yarning over, pulling through 2. Okay, here's where things get a little bit tricky. The next step in row 3 says to double crochet again in the preceding chain 2 space. Okay, so the preceding chain 2 space from this space is this one, the one before it. That's what it means. What precedes what came before it. Now, here's why it gets a little tricky. You're gonna yarn over and you're going to insert it into the hole here from behind. Okay, so let me do that one more time. So here's the double crochet you did in this chain 2 space, right? There's a little hole that was created just in between these two. You're gonna go into that hole to grab your hook around the chain 2 space from the previous stitch, okay? And then you're going to yarn over and you're gonna pull that yarn over through that hole and bring it up. And now you have 3 loops on. And then you yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2, okay? And that's how we got our little cross action, okay? The next step says to chain 1 once again, all right? And then the asterisk shows up, and here's the first step of the repeat for row 3. We're going to double crochet in the next chain 2 space. So once again, we're yarning over first for a double. Here's the next chain 2 space. We're inserting it into this space, right? And we're yarning over, we're pulling it out of this space, and we're yarning over, pulling through 2, yarning over, pulling through 2, okay? First step in the repeat. Then it says to double crochet in the preceding chain 2 space, okay? So we remember about that again, right? So first we yarn over, and then there's the preceding chain 2 space right here. That's where we're gonna go into. We're gonna take our hook and we're going to go under that chain 2 space like so. All right, and wrap our hook around and pull it out of that chain 2 space, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay? And then it says chain 1. Okay, that's the final step of the repeat. And then it says repeat across from the star, ending the last repeat with a double crochet in the last single crochet. So we start once again, double crochet in the next chain 2 space, so that's here, okay? And it doesn't look like much now, but it will once we finish the next row. Okay, so we're double crocheting there, okay? And then double crochet in the preceding chain 2 space, so back again, back here. And then chain 1. 3 steps for this repeat. All right, so we do it again. We yarn over and we double crochet in the next here. And then we double crochet in the preceding one right here. Okay, so we go back and around like so. Did you see that? So here's the preceding space right there, right? We go under the chain 2 like that. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and chain 1. Okay? And then we do once again. We yarn over. Here's the next chain 2 space. Insert, double crochet here. And then go back. With another double in the preceding chain 2 space. And then chain 1. Okay? And now it says, here's our last single crochet. It says to do a double crochet in this last single crochet. So right there. So we're double crocheting right into here. Okay, so you can see that this is the single crochet right here, and we're gonna go into it. Here you can always look for the V at the top. See the V? And then you look underneath the V, that's the hole that you're supposed to go into. So if anything, you can just put the V on the hook, and that's how you know you're in the right space, okay? And double crochet right into there. Okay? And then it says to chain 1 and turn. That's really pretty, right? It looks nicer once you've finished. And so now the next step for row 4. So now we're on to row 4. Row 4 says single crochet in the first double crochet. So we just made a double crochet. Remember in row 3 we did a double crochet as the last stitch. That's where we're going to actually do a single crochet. So here's the post for the double. There's the hole that we're going to insert it into to do a single. Single in that first double. And then it says single in each chain 1 space and in each double crochet across. Okay, so here's the chain 1 space, so we're gonna single here, okay, in the space around it, and then on top of each of these crisscrossed double crochets also. So you see these are the crisscross double crochets. Here's 1 and here's 2, but there are the holes. You see the holes? Those are our insertion points. So right there, 1, and the next one is 2 right there. Okay, and then here's the chain 1 space right there, that big hole. So that gets us a single crochet, and then here's the crisscross again, and there's the holes right there. 1 and 2. Okay, and here's another one, and here's 1, and here's the next double. Okay, here's the chain space right here, so this gets a single. And then there's the 2 crisscrossers. You see the holes there? Those are the insertion points. And here again. And here. And here. And here. Here's a double, so right on top of that double here, and then so we're actually going to do 1 in the turning chain as well right here. Okay, and then we turn and we're done. Okay, and that completes row 4, and you just continue to repeat rows 2 through 4 for the pattern, okay, all the way until it's the size you want it to be. All right, and before you know it, you'll have a beautiful swatch. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. My name is April Diane once again, and if you have any questions, you can post the questions in the comment section of this video. Until next time, be well, happy crafting.